Haisai, wanne Sid Chaganju Yagaya. Welcome everyone, I'm your host Sid. I hope you're doing well and I thank you for your continuing support to this channel. If you haven't already done so, please subscribe. The background today is the popular Ryukyu glass. You will find Ryukyu glass at many stores along Kokusai Dori. Ryukyu glass is hand-blown by Okinawan craftsmen. Okinawa started producing glassware in the late 1800s, and in 1998, Ryukyu glass was designated as a traditional craft of Okinawa. Next time you're in Okinawa, you should consider Ryukyu glass as a souvenir. Okay, let's start. Today's topic is vocabulary, Uchinaguchi adjectives. The routine for adjectives will be to discuss the casual, polite, and descriptor forms of each word. In Japanese, the root form of all adjectives end with the character I or the sound E. In Uchinaguchi, the root form of adjectives end with a sang. This is also the casual form. The polite form of adjectives ends with saibing. The descriptor form ends with ru. So let's get right to it and see what our first adjective is. We start with the Uchinaguchi word magi-san. In English, it means big or large. In Japanese, it is equivalent to the word oki. To derive the polite form of any adjective from its root, we replace the with ibing. So for magi-san, we replace with ibing and we have the polite form magi-saibing. To derive the descriptor form of any adjective from its root, we replace the with ru. So for magi-san, we replace the with ru and we have the descriptor form magisaru. So what is this descriptor form? In English, the adjective can be used in both the following sentences. The dog is big, or it's a big dog. Similarly, in Japanese, it would be inu wa ookii desu, or ookii inu desu. The adjective forms are the same in both sentences. In Uchinaguchi, the adjective form changes depending on the location of the adjective relative to the noun. The same two sentences would be inno magi-san yaibing or magisaru in yaibing. Inno is the form of the ing after the topic particle sound change rule has been applied. Review video 8 if you are unsure of this rule. The descriptor form is another grammatical difference between Japanese and Uchinaguchi, and another reason Uchinaguchi is a language and not a dialect. To recap, the root form is magi-san, the polite form is magi-saibing, and the descriptor form is magisaru. Alright, let's move on to our second adjective. The next word is guma-san, or sometimes guna-san. In English, it means small or little. In Japanese, it is equivalent to the word chisai. To derive the polite form from any adjective from its root, we replace the with ibing. So, for guma-san, the polite form is gumasaibing. To derive the descriptive form of any adjective from its root, we replace the with ru. So, for guma-san, the descriptive form is gumasaru. Let's move on to our third adjective. The next word is achi-san. In English, it means hot or warm. In Japanese, it is equivalent to the word atsui. To derive the polite form from any adjective from its root, we replace the with ibing. So for achi-san, the polite form is achisaibing. To derive the descriptor form of any adjective from its root, we replace the with ru. So for achi-san, the descriptor form is achisaru. Let's move on to our fourth adjective. The next word is hi-san, or sometimes fi-san. In English, it means cold. In Japanese, it is equivalent to the word samui. To derive the polite form from any adjective from its root, we replace the with ibing. So for he sang, the polite form is he saibing. To derive the descriptor form of any adjective from its root, we replace the with ru. So for he sang, the descriptor form is he saru. Let's move on to our fifth adjective. The next word is ma-sang. In English, it means delicious or tasty. In Japanese, it is equivalent to the word oishi. To derive the polite form from any adjective from its root, we replace the with ibing. So for ma-sang, the polite form is ma-saibing. To derive the descriptor form of any adjective from its root, we replace the with ru. So for ma-sang, the descriptor form is ma-saru. Let's move on to our sixth adjective. The next word is ya-sang. In English, it means hungry. In Japanese, it is equivalent to the word himoji. To derive the polite form from any adjective from its root, we replace the with ibing. So for ya-sang, the polite form is ya-saibing. To derive the descriptor form of any adjective from its root, we replace the with ru. So for ya-sang, the descriptor form is ya-saru. Let's move on to our seventh adjective. The next word is hei-sang or fei-sang. In English, it means fast or quick. In Japanese, it is equivalent to the word hayai. To derive the polite form from any adjective from its root, we replace the with ibing. So for hei-sang, the polite form is hei-saibing. To derive the descriptor form of any adjective from its root, we replace the with ru. So for hei-sang, the descriptor form is hei-saru. Let's move on to our last adjective. The last word is ni-sang. In English, it means slow. In Japanese, it is equivalent to the word osoi. To derive the polite form from any adjective from its root, we replace the with ibing. So for ni-sang, the polite form is ni-saibing. To derive the descriptor form of any adjective from its root, we replace the with ru. So for ni-sang, the descriptor form is ni-saru. I have put the adjectives into a table so you can see the pattern for the casual, polite, and descriptor forms. You can see the commonality of each adjective type. Knowing this pattern will help you guess conjugations for other adjectives. So this concludes this video. As always, thank you for viewing. Mata yaasai.